dating over 50. This just happened and I am upset about it and I don't know what to do. So I'm going to jump on here and see what y'all think. So please leave me a comment down below. And I'm definitely a big believer in, you got to listen to your intuition. You got to look within, and I'm certainly going to do that.
She went online to vent, saying she's very upset because dating over 50 absolutely sucks.
I've been doing that, but I will tell y'all what just happened. So basically, Mr. GK and I had a date planned for this Friday. And, we went to lunch on Tuesday, which we've actually been doing that every week, and it was fun, whatever. But I have been getting some, intuitive hits of things that aren't lining up. I don't know. I can't really explain it. Maybe it's some of his behavior. Maybe it's like sometimes he takes longer to text back, which I know that's not a big deal. So I don't think that's it at all. I don't know. I actually went and even saw my therapist and she was like, Heather, those really aren't red flags. Those are more like orange flags. And so just don't worry about it. So I was really trying to just kind of figured what, it's probably my past, but there is some things in his behavior. So I'll give you an example. This morning, he texted me good morning and sent me this link to some video thing he was in. And so I responded and was like, oh, whatever, love it. You did such a good job. And then I said, so what time are we going tonight? Because when we talked on the phone last night, he was like, you know what? I don't really know what time I'll be able to pick you up tomorrow night. And I haven't really made a plan for what we're doing because my daughter, he has his kids this weekend and his daughter is, going to go to the lake, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, I'll let you know the time and place when I get in, and I figured this out last night. Well, then I woke up this morning and he didn't tell me, he didn't text me anything. And then when he sent me the good morning text, there was nothing in there about this is what time I'll pick you up. And so, that's why when I responded to his text this morning, when he sent me that video, I said, great job. But then I also said, what time will you be picking me up?
The tone in her voice said it all: frustration, disappointment, and regret. After years of believing she could have it all, career, freedom, independence, she's now realizing that the dating pool at 50 isn't what it used to be. The men she once ignored are gone. The ones she wants don't want her back. And reality has finally caught up.
And he didn't respond, and then I went to yoga and I got out of yoga. I sent him that text at 9 a.m. and then I got out of yoga at 11. I got home at 11:30. And then by noon, he still hadn't responded. So, and actually he left me on delivered, which I don't love that. So I thought, well, maybe he didn't read it because, the first line said, good job. And then the second line was the line that said, what time are we going tonight? So I thought maybe he is in a meeting and he left it on delivered, so he didn't see the second line. So, of course, I sound like a teenager that I'm freaking out so much about the dumb freaking texting, which I, overthink it, I know.
When women are young, the world seems full of options. Attention comes easily, validation is endless, and the future looks bright. But time is undefeated. As the years go by, looks fade, options shrink, and the attention that once felt guaranteed disappears. Now, many women who put dating off for decades are realizing that independence doesn't keep you warm at night.
So I sent him a text at noon and I said, did you not get my above, or did you not read my above text, ? Because I'm thinking surely if you read it, you would have responded. So he called me and he said, right after that, he's like, hey, call me right back. So I did. 1 second, I'm watching my son's dog this weekend and he's being crazy. I'll show y'all. Oh my goodness, you guys stop it right now, stop. And so basically we talked on the phone for an hour, and not an hour, 30 minutes. And I said, he was like, listen, I'm really sorry, but this is my last weekend with my kids. And he was like, I'm feeling really guilty about leaving my daughter tonight because my other two kids are going to be gone. So she was going to be here alone. Mind you, his daughter's 16. And there was a part of me that's thinking why would a 16-year-old daughter want to be with her dad on a Friday night? I don't know about y'all, but when I was 16 years old, I was with my boyfriend or with my friends all the time, especially on a Friday night. So
dating in your 50s is a different world. The men in that age range have already built their lives. Many are divorced, financially stable, and selective. They're not chasing validation or beauty anymore. They want peace. They want loyalty. And the women who bring chaos, attitude, or entitlement. They get passed over. Because at that age, men aren't looking for drama, they're looking for rest.
All the time, especially on a Friday night. So that thought did cross my mind. And so I was kind of mad, but he was like, I'm sorry, I should have told you earlier. It's like, that's why I didn't respond to your text, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And, and I actually was like, you know what, I don't love this at all. In fact, it makes me kind of mad. And I'm kind of feeling really bad about it, because I said, do you even really have time for a relationship? You have these 3 kids and whatever. And he was like, yeah, I think I do. And I was like, okay, and we kind of talked through it. And again, he was like, I'm sorry. And I said, I also didn't love that you didn't respond to my text. Even if you didn't know what you wanted to do, you should have just said that, like, hey, I'm still not sure what we're going to be doing. So give me a minute or an hour, whatever it is. And then I'll, get back to you.
This woman's words echoed what many silently feel: regret. She admitted she's lonely, confused, and angry that dating isn't fair. But life isn't about fairness, it's about cause and effect. Years of rejecting good men, prioritizing temporary thrills, and believing she could find love later led to this moment. And when later finally arrived, there was nothing left to find.
And I also owned my anxiety, though. I was like, I know that I'm also anxious, and I own that, whatever. If you don't respond to a text, I know I don't need to read that much into it. So I guess we had an okay conversation. He really didn't say like, but here's when I want to see you again. Like, I would have loved that. So I actually said, well, when am I going to see you again? And he was like, well, next week I don't have my kids. And I know we talked about getting together on Father's Day, which is Sunday. And I was like, I can't do that. And he's like, okay, well, how about Monday or Tuesday night? So we decided on Tuesday night. But still, I feel like he could have come over for coffee or asked to have breakfast with me tomorrow morning or something. I don't know. And so we got off the phone and I just feel terrible. And
This isn't about shaming older women, it's about understanding the reality of choices. Men and women both pay for the paths they take. For men, it's the grind. For women, it's time. The longer you wait to build something real, the harder it becomes to start over. High standards don't mean much when the market has moved on.
Feel like, I don't know, something in me is telling me that something seems really off. Mm-hmm. And again, here I go, is it my anxiety or is it my intuition? And I just don't know. And I guess I won't know until time goes on, but part of me is like, I should just end it now. Because, what if he's lying? But then there's another part of me that's like, well, what if he's not lying? And what if his 16-year-old is an odd 16-year-old who likes to stay home with her dad on a Friday night? What if he is telling me the truth, And so I don't know. So I guess the thing that's sticking in my head is if you don't know what to do, then just don't do anything, So I think I'm just not going to do anything, and I'm just going to see how he shows up. But if this bad feeling and this sadness or whatever you want to call it, it continues, and if he continues to kind of treat me this way, because that was not okay. Canceling a date at noon on Friday, I don't love that. In fact, I hate it, and I deserve more than that.
The truth is simple: time changes everything, especially in dating. And those who ignore that truth often find out too late that freedom has a price. This has been the Sigma Chronicles, where truth cuts deeper than comfort. Stay sharp. Stay Sigma.
Okay, canceling a date at noon on Friday, I don't love that. In fact, I hate it, and I deserve more than that. And so there is a big part of me that's this is not okay, and I should just break up with a guy. But I'm not 100% sure, so leave me a comment down below and let me know what y'all think. Okay, thanks.
That's today's chapter of the Sigma Chronicles. Subscribe for more unfiltered reality.